Well, thank you, Jose. I try to keep in shape.
Not.
It was new.
Talk about baseball. Rare feat of baseball. Let's do that right away.
Pronto.
For only the second time in history, 4 pitchers have combined for a no-hitter. Today, Baltimore's Bob Milacki, Mike Flanagan, Mark Williamson, and Greg Olson no-hit the Oakland A's. Ironically, it was Oakland's Vida Blue, Glenn Abbott, Paul Lindblad, and Riley Fingers that pitched a no-hitter against the White Sox back in 1975. Bob Milacki started the game, and here he gets Jose Canseco swinging. Baltimore already led 1-0 when Mike Devereaux steps up and get out of here. A solo shot to give the Orioles a 2-0 advantage. Sometimes no-hitters have some luck to them, like when Willie Wilson's line error caroms off Milacki right to first baseman Randy Milligan for the out. Milacki left after 6 innings. Also, good defense helps. Devereaux runs down this Mark McGuire fly ball for the out. Cal Ripken Jr. also comes up with a defensive gem at short, throwing out Dave Henderson for the first out of the 9th. Then Jose Canseco is caught looking. Finally, Olson gets Harold Baines to check swing, strikeout, and the no-hitter belonged to the Baltimore Orioles and a 2-0 victory.
Everything goes through your mind as you're worried about winning. And, of course, I was always reminded by some guys in the stands when I was walking in that you had a no-hitter going. So I knew a no-hitter was going on, but you don't worry about that, especially when there's only 2-0 lead. And you worry about getting hitters out and keep us close enough to win the ball game.
Elsewhere in the American League, Detroit kicks Kansas City 8-5. Toronto trips Texas 3-2. Is Minnesota beating Boston 3-1. Milwaukee in front of Chicago 8-2 in the 8th. California trails New York 1-0 in the 5th. Seattle on top of Cleveland 2-0 in the 4th. Poor New York Mets. They're with a win and one win of breaking a team record for consecutive wins, and they're still 2.5 games back at Pittsburgh. But Donald and Marla out the shade to see the Mets and the Pirates tonight. Trump got to see David Cone strike out 13. Here, Biff Roberts goes down swinging. Mets defense wasn't bad either. Greg Jeffries makes the diving stop. That saved themselves a run. Mark Carrion knocked in the game winner. This bloop single scores Howard Johnson. New York wins at 3-1, their 10th straight. Mets record for consecutive wins is 11. Elsewhere in the National League, L.A. and Montreal postponed due to rain. They'll have a doubleheader tomorrow. Chicago humbles Houston 4-3. Cincinnati clobbers Pittsburgh Pittsburgh clobbers Cincinnati 5-2. Philadelphia over San Fran 5-4 in the 7th, and Atlanta slaughters St. Louis 10-5. Day 3 of the Dolphins training camp, and holdout safety Jarvis Williams' fines now total $4,500. He was placed on the reserve did not report list. Still 16 unsigned players, including defensive back J.B. Brown. Brown's agent is none other than Drew Rosenhaus, who also represents Miami's unsigned #1 pick, Randall Hill. J.B. would love to take the field just as soon as possible, but he's not going to be.
I've been out here twice now, and it's hard to see them out there practicing or not. I'm just worried about getting a fair deal and then coming in and contributing like I did last year. I'm holding firm on my initial offer, and I'm just waiting to see what happens. I'm being patient right now.
Well, tomorrow night on Sports Final, Dolphins president Tim Robbie joins Hank Goldberg and me. Plenty of things to talk about, including those unsigned players. Well, team tennis is back, and with some very familiar faces, Jimmy Connors and his Los Angeles Strings team facing the Miami Breakers at Turnberry Isle. Connors was playing Greg Holmes. Here, Jimbo hits a nice lob for the winner. The scoring a bit different, 4 players per team, 1 set per match. Connors didn't fare too well against Holmes. The former NCAA champ wins the exchange at the net. Here's another put away at the net. Holmes beat Jimbo easily 6-1. The Breakers lose the match 22-19. With Miami and Bruce Fleischer is to win the New England Classic, he'll have to do it coming from behind. The first and second round leader faltered a bit today, shooting 2 over 73. He trails leaders Gene Sowers and Ian Baker Finch by 4 shots with 1 round to play. The LPGA Tour is in Texas for the U.S. Open as another scorching day. Former FIU golfer Pat Bradley, who scorched the course the past 2 days, didn't do too badly today. Here she knocks in the birdie on 8. She's 1 over and in the lead. Bradley, who won the Open in 1981, is being chased by another former winner, Amy Alcott. She blasts out of the sand, hitting the stick. She finished the day 1 shot back of the leaders. Tied with Bradley atop the leaderboard at +1. Joan Pidcock, she shot a 1 over par 72. Final round is tomorrow. Tough day for Liberty City boxer Glenn Big Bad Wolf, despite knocking down IBF junior middleweight champion Gina Franco Rossi in the 3rd round. Wolf lost a unanimous decision. It was Rossi's 6th title defense. America's favorite cyclist Greg LeMond has recaptured for the 3rd time the yellow jersey at the most prestigious bike race, the Tour de France. Lamont took the overall lead by placing second in today's 8th stage, a 45-mile individual time trial. Miguel Indurain of Spain won the stage at a time of 1 hour, 35 minutes. And finally tonight, a bowler's dream shot. Jess Stayrook competing in the Pro Bowlers Association's Tucson Open, converting the difficult 7-10 split. It's only the 3rd time in television history 7-10 conversions have been made in championship round. However, Stayrook finished 3rd behind Norm Duke, who took home the top honors.
That's incredible.
Big. 7-10, that's difficult as can be.
Well, not for me, but for most people.
Well, you stay in shape like Jimmy.
Like, do aerobics.
Please.